Yeah, the one thing I miss is watching South African commentary with the rugby, because we watched it on Sky and we had the Aussie commentary, and they are so
Uh-huh.
biased. Like it was actually
Absolutely.
comical in some parts. So they were 21-0 down at
Yeah.
halftime. And one of the commentators said, "I'm really impressed with the Aussie defense. They're doing such a great job." I'm like, well, they're obviously not, because they've let 21 points go. They've let 3 tries in. And then there was another
I,
thing. Oh, when Aronson got the ball and scored his first try, one of
yeah.
the commentators said, "This guy's a one-trick pony." And I'm just thinking, the one trick is working. So
Yeah.
but just a lot of the comments, like they never praise South Africa for anything that we did well, and we did a lot
Yeah.
well in that game. There's no like, wow, that was really cool, that was a good move, or anything. There's just mean comments about South Africa and positive comments about Aussies, even when they're not doing the best job.
So I follow quite a few of these pundits on X, and I must say, from from most of them, a lot of positives, including some of the ex Aussie players. And in fact, just this morning, I saw Nick White,
Mm-hmm.
um, kind of very positive comments
Wow.
about the Springbok team,
I wouldn't have
because
expected that
obviously,
from him.
yeah, not from him, because he looks so cocky when he's on the field. And but anyway, because I thought that, there's going to be quite a lot said about the number of new players that are being put on the field on the weekend.
Yeah.
Um, and his comment was basically, well, you know what, the standard is so high that you've got to take whoever they put in that jersey, you've got to take them seriously.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, so yeah, it is quite interesting to watch some of these guys make complete idiots of themselves in terms of the comments that they make and so on.
I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I
Anyway,
know, I know I'm biased because I'm biased towards South Africa.
of
But I
course.
just feel like Victor Matfield and Nosworth and those rugby commentators are so much more measured, and they will call, actually they're quite harsh sometimes on the Springboks, and they'll say like they're not doing that very well, or they should be doing
Yes.
something different. And they'll praise the opponents when they're doing a good job. But it just felt like this was so one-sided. It was like quite difficult to listen to as a fan.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. I wonder if there's a way to get some other commentary while you're watching, because it
Yeah.
would be very annoying. Yeah.
Well, sometimes,
Mm.
so like the World Cup games, I think we sometimes got the Super Sport broadcast. So there were times when we had the South
Okay.
African commentary. These ones were, so I think it just depends where the match is being broadcast,
Yes.
like on which channel,
Yeah.
because the World Cup was on BBC and ITV, and this was
Okay.
on Sky. So I don't
This is
know.
on Sky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yes, very
Okay.
happy that there's rugby on again.
Yes. Yes, it is. I agree. Um, the other interesting rugby result was New
New
Zealand
Zealand,
being beaten
Argentina.
by Argentina.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
get,
get
I
to
didn't,
watch that
I
one.
didn't get to watch it. Yes. Um, maybe I'll still catch the highlights or
Yeah.
something at some point. Anyway,
But I just saw, do you know the rugby guy on Instagram? He's brilliant. He's a South African
no.
guy, but he will like, he does little skits where he puts on the other team's jerseys and he acts as them, the rugby guy. He's
Yeah.
so good. But he did one where he says it's South Africa, his South Africa character is talking to the New Zealand character, and he says, "Us two in the top two again, aren't we?" And then the New Zealand character looks a bit sheepish and like looks around, and then the Argentinian says, "No, we won." And then the New Zealand guy is like, "Oh," and then the South Africa goes, "Oh well, it's not too bad, losing away is not a bad thing." And then the New Zealand guy says, "No, it was at home." But it's just this like really, he's very good at making these little skits about the rugby that's going on.
Okay. Found him. Found him. His actual name is Jared Harris.
Yeah.
Grew up in South Africa, live in Devon.
Yes,
Okay.
he lives for the rugby. He like for the World Cup, he had
Okay.
every single jersey of all of the
Oh,
teams in the World
wow.
Cup, and he puts on their jersey and does a little skit about them. Very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so we are hell bent on talking about something positive today. Is that
No, we
still
can talk
true?
about whatever we want, wherever it goes.
So obviously, one of the things that happened this week as well was this X live spaces that Elon Musk did with Donald Trump.
I didn't see it or know about it. I've been in a bubble.
So you have to be kind of like active, I think, on X
Okay.
to know about these things. But the point for me about that is they had a I don't know they had a two hour conversation. I didn't listen to it. Um, I obviously see a lot of comments about it, and then you see the mainstream media comments about it as well. And one of the reasons why I think that this is a positive thing is, originally Elon Musk got so much flack for buying Twitter and um, what people suspected was his motivation for that, etc., etc. But I think, fortunately, very quickly into the process, the Twitter files that came out, and he was very open about the shadow banning and the actual
Mhm.
banning, etc., that took place. And over the last year and a half or so, people really started to appreciate um, that it is the only place where free speech can really still take place. And we have also seen that,
I was
yes,
gonna, yeah. The UK government is arresting people who tweeted certain things.
correct. They
Yeah.
also threatened to arrest Elon Musk, and guess what his reaction to that was, you know. But um, th- so the point that I wanted to make was that if you look at the latest stats, you'll see mainstream media is kind of losing their viewership, and X is going up in terms
Hmm.
of that is where people now prefer to get their news, and to to actually get a sense of what's going on in the world.
Hmm.
Okay, so why is that so positive? I think in so many instances we have been fed a type of narrative and we didn't have an alternative.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could switch from one TV station to another or from one newspaper to another if you wanted an alternative. But traditionally, we know that they were all kind of aligned to either the left or the right.
Yeah.
Whereas X is full of left and it's full of right.
Yeah.
And it's full of far left and it's probably full of far right as well. I think there's a hell of a lot of us kind of sitting here in the middle in terms of, I don't know, I suppose a lot of people will see themselves as being kind of like center
Hmm.
and not too far left or too far right. Anyway, so you do get a much more balanced view. And because you get these things like these spaces where people can join, and depending on how you said, it's almost like live streams on YouTube, although we
Yeah.
know that YouTube censor the hell out of what's being said on that channel. And it is the format is that this is a conversation between X number of people, and I really think that that is very healthy for the concept of free speech,
Yeah.
as opposed to a lot of the other ways in which we, um, I don't know, try to um, try to reassure ourselves that we still had free speech. Anyway, so for me, that's a massive positive. The fact that the EU and Brazil and the UK government and et cetera, want to um, put their thumb on the scale or impose some fines or whatever it is that they do
Yeah.
to get a social media platform to either promote or to ban certain viewpoints or certain people. That must tell you that there's a proper function for the platform. Because
Yeah.
you don't hear in the case of Brazil. I mean, Brazil is actively asking Twitter to ban the following people, etc. Exactly the way that the American um, I wouldn't. Well, they're not all government departments. I don't know exactly how to classify them. The CIA and whoever else was kind of involved in the whole, you know, it wasn't just on Twitter, it was Facebook, YouTube, and every social media platform where they dictated what can and should be viewed and heard with regards to the 2020 election and with regards to the COVID pandemic.
Hmm.
So anyway, I view that as a very positive, and I think it is putting a lot of pressure on the rest of the social media channels
Yeah.
to also be less biased and more open, or at least to not dictate
Yeah.
what it is that we hear and see, etc.
Do you think it's putting pressure on the traditional news agents?
While the traditional news agencies are just in the process of dying.
Hmm.
If you look at the viewerships, etc. So I don't know what the situation is in the UK, but in South Africa, a couple of newspapers were just completely shut down. They stopped being printed and they had to close their doors
Yeah.
simply because people just don't buy them anymore. So
Read it on their phones.
they read it on their phones, but then they also have much better sources
Yeah.
than what they were used to or what they thought was a balanced view.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. So let's say, for example, you um, are left leaning and you prefer the ads that you see or the presenter styles or whatever on CNN.
Mhm.
That's okay. If, and there was a time, I think, when CNN was about reporting the news.
Mhm.
In other words, shit happened, this is what we know, this is who's responsible, and this is what we don't know. And let's
Yeah.
speak to some sort of expert. As opposed to, listen, shit happened. We want you to think or
Yeah.
believe that this was the fault of, or, whoever. And we're going to ask somebody from our team to explain to you. So it's so biased that you can't actually believe that they still take themselves seriously. In fact, earlier in the week, there was a segment on Stephen Colbert's show. Stephen Colbert, one of the presenters in the States, and he had somebody from CNN, I think, a woman from CNN that he was talking to, and he tried to convince her that CNN is just reporting the news, and the audience started laughing. The audience started laughing at him. This is such a big deal that it was even mentioned on Joe Rogan yesterday. We go, how ridiculous is this, you know? Anyway, so traditional media are definitely dying. They're going to have to reinvent themselves or kind of go back. And I don't know how you do that, because if your entire reporting staff or people that you employed, if you made sure that they were all leaning either this way or this way, it's very difficult to now go, okay, cool, people, let's be a bit more objective.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the answer for them is. I do believe that so there are two reasons why I think that X is so successful in this. And one is the fact that Elon fired 75% of the people who work there. And the second one is by open sourcing the algorithm.
Yeah.
So nobody can now just make an accusation to say that, you're just saying it's free speech, but
you're still
there's the algorithm.
Yeah.
The algorithm is there. Go and check for yourself. And it's not like they are not still finding issues with it. In fact, Robert Kennedy Jr. just mentioned, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that he's been complaining to X about something for a couple of months, and they finally said to him, hey, listen, this thing was so deeply embedded in the algorithm, but we found it, there it is, and it's fixed now. So anyway, so I think that is a really positive thing.
And what do you make there's no one banned on X anymore. You can't be banned.
No, I think there are still people banned. I think, there are just some things that, so I don't know how much headway they've made with it, but I know that there was a huge problem with child pornography. Okay. So I don't know how much they have managed to clean that up. Bots, I don't know to what extent they've managed to clean that up. But obviously there are still certain things that, hey, listen, if you make it your mission to spread this kind of media, then you should not be on this platform.
Yeah.
But I don't think in terms of having a political view. I'm not sure.
Why would you want to ban those people? Like, if there are people that should be on a watch list or something, or that you should be aware of, isn't it better to know what they're saying than not?
Of course, it is better to know what they're saying. So I think that, that's a very good question. Two reasons I can think is one is you don't want people to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
Because they may make a compelling argument, and people that you want to control may follow them or listen to their advice or to what they have to say, or to look at the facts that they present. So what would be the other one for banning somebody? It could be that they are really spreading disinformation. So I don't know which term to use these days. Is it misinformation or disinformation? Because these things have different definitions, right?
Misinformation sounds like it's a mistake that you've given the wrong information, or the disinformation sounds like it's an
Okay.
intentionally sending people astray or whatever.
So the point, yeah, look, the point is that, if people are either intentionally or unintentionally talking shit, the rest of the community will say, hey, that is not correct. And community notes actually works very well in that regard. The only problem I have with community notes is that community notes is not active in all countries. So, for example, community notes not active in South Africa. So there are some people that still get away with, just talking the biggest load of crap and being so incorrect, racist, etc., etc., in terms of what they put out there, without being community checked. So obviously, everybody with an opinion can typically go and reply, and but that's not the same as being community notes, where people actually come with sources and fact check and that sort of thing, So anyway, I in general, I feel like it is a question of people are afraid of or scared of the other point of view, and that is why they would. And that we could, knowing what we know now about COVID and the vaccines, etc., that was clearly the reason why they didn't want anybody to speak about it or question the official story.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the facts, or in some cases they knew that they were lying, and they couldn't allow us ordinary folk to ask these questions.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see the monkeypox thing?
Yeah, I just saw a headline about it, but I didn't see any detail. There's another one as well.
Okay.
There's an African virus or something.
No, that's the monkeypox.
Oh, okay. Then there was another one from South America, I think. I don't know. I just saw two. Something fever.
Okay.
I just saw it on
No,
a
I don't
headline
know.
this morning.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but I did see that the World Health Organization is, they have now said something about the monkeypox. So I wonder, so I forget which country, DRC, I think. DRC has had the most cases of monkeypox so far. I honestly haven't heard of any cases of monkeypox locally, and I'm sure you haven't either.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any.
I just wonder for the World Health Organization to call it and I forget what the name is that they gave it, or what they kind of said about it. I'm just checking.
Like a pandemic.
It's not quite a pandemic,
Yeah.
but it is like better get your masks ready type of statement.
So this other one that
actually,
I saw, the fever, I just saw a map and I saw Spain was one of the countries that is seeing increases, and that's where I'm going on Sunday. So I should take my mask with me.
So the World Health Organization has declared the Mpox outbreak a public health emergency of international concern,
Okay.
sparking discussions and concerns amongst the public about the possibility of another lockdown. Many individuals expressed their apprehension and reluctance towards the idea of a lockdown, citing personal or professional reasons, while others advocated for the necessity of lockdowns to control the spread of the disease. The declaration has also led to debates on the effectiveness of lockdowns and the impact of the ongoing pandemic on daily life and mental health.
Okay.
And then the very first comment that is listed below that is some Canadian lady who said, "I give zero fucks about the new pandemic." So I think that sums up the general population's feeling about. Uh, I cannot think that they can so soon even consider trying to lock people down again.
Yeah, after seeing the
Correct.
effects that had the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fever. So it only
Oh my
affects sloths, I
word.
think. I don't think it affects humans, so I should be okay.
I think I know quite a few humans who suffer from sloth fever. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Okay.
So there, I did see another headline, but it
Anyway,
didn't affect us, only the animals.
shame.
Mm.
Poor
Apparently, it's
sloths.
carried by mosquitoes.
Okay. Bill Gates has a plan for that. Well, what is his plan with the mosquitoes?
I don't know. I don't know. Or does he want to get rid of all the mosquitoes?
Yeah, look, he's been handing out nets in Africa for.
Maybe he wants us to eat them.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, there was something about a special type of mosquito that would, I don't know, kill the malaria mosquitoes or something like that. Yeah, no, it's a kind of a serious thing, but that's quite old. Um, I mean, at least 6 months, a year. I can't remember
Yeah.
when I saw it. Anyway, um, look, I know it's not been the most positive, but I do think um, there's a glimmer of hope
Yeah.
for kind of the truth getting out there and people waking up to it. That's probably the more important thing is that there's a hunger for the truth and for reality in terms of what we're dealing with and so on.
Yeah.
And I have to keep reminding myself that X as a platform only has I don't know, maybe half a billion people, maybe 500 million. I don't know. I don't know how many users there are. So that means that we're still not, 7 billion people still don't know what the hell is,
Well, I'm one of them.
or doesn't have the opportunity.
I don't really pay that much attention to X, but maybe I should pay
I
more attention.
I highly recommend it. I
Yeah.
highly
But doesn't it
recommend it.
depend on kind of who you follow? And then again, you're going to be
So
getting skewed.
yes, go follow who you think, and I think the for me the correct way is to follow people who are more left leaning and people who are more right leaning.
Yeah.
So I sometimes cringe a little bit when I see some of the stuff from people that I really don't like necessarily, just to keep that balance.
Yeah.
Um, and then the algorithm will start exposing you to, but because you now have long form video on there, etc., etc., it is a much more pleasant experience um, to use the platform. And I think as an experiment, you must kind of do it for like a couple of weeks and see in terms of the news that you pick up
Yeah. Yeah.
and how you feel about that versus what you kind of consume and
What I see on BBC.
what you see up to now. Yeah,
Yeah.
wherever, and on other social media platforms. But anyway, so the point I wanted to make about that is there's still the, the the majority of people still only see little bits and pieces
Mm-hmm.
of what's going on in the world. And I don't know whether that is a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if people in I don't know, some remote village in whatever province of China that has never heard of Twitter or Donald Trump or whatever,
Yeah.
if they are better off than we are, who are bombarded with all this stuff and so on. I don't know what the answer is, but I do know that I'm a huge fan of the truth,
Mm-hmm.
um, and unfiltered truth, so that I can make up my own mind about these things. Feels like
Unfiltered
I've
truth.
just ranted for a long time.
Well, I'm gonna have to go and get my Twitter account back or my X account back up and running and find the right people to follow or the wrong people to
It,
follow.
yeah, it's fascinating. You'll meet some really weird characters there as
I just think it's
well.
so funny because when there's like the guy who tried to kill Donald Trump, when they go look at who he was following on Twitter or whatever, they would call out that he was following some like far left leaning, whatever. But so it's just interesting that you say follow the ones on the far left and the far right. Then what are they going to do when you do something wrong? This person was confused.
Well, if you believe that that was really actually who he was following, and that was not all made up or part of
Yeah.
the story, yeah. No, there's some really interesting characters there, and I honestly find a lot of value, get a lot of value out of it
So how
in
do you do
terms
it?
of.
Do you just scroll like in the morning or
So
in the evening, or do you like how do you find the
yeah,
stories that you're interested in or
so obviously there's certain accounts that I go and follow. So there are individuals, etc., that I follow, and then there are also organizations that I follow. Um, like for example, the BBC.
Mhm.
So I follow the BBC, and I follow CNN, and I follow whoever, and so and then you'll see there's a tab, so you can only look at those people that you follow, and you can also look at what's it called?
like something for you or
It's
for
it's a
you.
for
Yeah.
you. Yes.
Yeah.
It's for you, and then for you will present to you certain things, and then you'll find some accounts there, and people like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm interested in this, and maybe I'm interested in that. But citizen journalism is becoming a real thing. There
Yeah.
are people starting to build quite big platforms and followership, and obviously generating income from that. But um, I feel it's a much more balanced view of what's going on. And obviously, then if any kind of topic is trending, and if you want to look at something specific, it also gives you kind of like, again, the left and the right and the
Yeah.
whoever. Um,
I just
anyway,
went to
try
follow
it.
BBC News and the most recent tweet is Trump golf course to be UK's most expensive at £1,000 a round.
Yes, Trump Tenbury, I believe it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Um,
Anyway.
yeah, that's a lot of money.
Are you going to play it, Herman? Is it on your list?
It's on my list. Whether I'm going to get to it, I'm not sure. But I would love to come and play Turnberry and a few other golf courses in that part of the world. Anyway,
Cool.
thanks, Ali.
Well, thank you. We'll chat again soon.
In